In a small town in northern Holland, a girl was born who would later become a legend. A girl whose real name was Margaretha Geertruida Zelle. But the world would not remember her by that name. Instead, she would be known as the most famous spy of the 20th century, Mata Hari. From childhood, Margaretha was different. Intelligent, beautiful, with a natural charm that captivated everyone. At the age of 19, she married a Dutch military officer and moved with him to the Dutch East Indies, present-day Indonesia, where she lived a strange and transformative life. There, she was fascinated by Eastern culture, learned to dance, immersed herself in local communities, and mastered the art of Eastern dance, discovering how to wield her femininity as a subtle weapon. But her marriage failed, especially after the death of her young son. Margaretha returned to Europe, hurt, alone, but not weak. She decided to start over, but this time she would no longer be Margaretha. She became Mata Hari, a name meaning Eye of the Dawn. She arrived in Paris in 1903, assuming the persona of an Indian princess, claiming she had learned sacred dances in Eastern temples. At a time when Europe was obsessed with the mystique of the East, no one doubted her story. She quickly rose as a mysterious dancer and became a star on Parisian stages. Her beauty, allure, and fabricated tales made her the center of attention among nobles, officers, and politicians. But fame does not last forever. As the years passed, Mata Hari's stardom began to fade. In her 30s, she was bankrupt and emotionally shattered. When World War I broke out, she found herself caught between the hammer of poverty and the anvil of dirty opportunities. In the Netherlands, a neutral country, she met the German consul, who was still enchanted by her past fame. He offered her a job as a spy for Germany, and she accepted, tempted by the money, not realizing she was stepping into a game far bigger than herself. She was given the code name H21 and returned to Paris under the guise of performing. But French intelligence was watching her closely. Lacking real spy training, she was easily caught in the trap. Amid the chaos, she fell in love with a young Russian officer, and in turn the French tried to recruit her as well. She became a double agent, or so she thought. She used complex codes to communicate with the Germans, but these codes alarmed the French. Some believed she was a serious threat who had to be arrested immediately. Others thought there wasn't enough evidence yet. Eventually, they decided to act. In 1916, she was arrested but denied all accusations. She swore loyalty to France and even offered to work for them. The French sent her on a mission to Belgium, where she helped gather information against the Germans, or so she believed. But the Germans didn't spare her either. They sent her coded messages using a cipher they knew the French could break, as if they wanted to expose her. The cipher was indeed broken, and she was arrested again, this time with undeniable evidence. She was tried for espionage. She defended herself, cried, swore she was innocent, but she convinced no one. On October 15, 1917, at dawn on a cold morning in the courtyard of the Vincennes Castle near Paris, Mata Hari stood bravely before the firing squad. She refused the blindfold, stared straight at the soldiers, then fell, and with her, the legend fell. Mata Hari. Was she a treacherous spy, or just a naive victim caught in a game beyond her understanding? The question remains unanswered to this day. But what's certain is that she lived as no woman of her time did, and died unlike any other, in silence. Her name still wrapped in mystery.